Think about the person you are always there for. You answer their messages instantly. You drop your plans the moment they call. You give them unlimited access to your time and energy. You think this level of loyalty makes you invaluable. You believe that by sacrificing your own boundaries, you are proving your worth. You are convinced that your constant presence is a testament to your virtue. Here is the brutal truth. You haven't made yourself invaluable. You have made yourself cheap. Today, inside the Psyche Vault, we are exploring the dark economics of human attention. We are diving into the ruthless law of absence and discovering why the ultimate power move is learning exactly when to disappear. Welcome to the Psyche Vault. Society tells us that if we want to be loved, respected, or promoted, we must be constantly visible. We are taught to be reliable, ever-present, and always accessible. We are conditioned to believe that withdrawal is a form of betrayal. We are told that the good employee stays late, that the good friend never says no, and that the loving partner has no boundaries. This is a lie designed to keep you subservient. It is a narrative constructed by a world that wants to extract maximum utility from your existence. But the masters of strategy, from Balthazar Gracian to Robert Greene, understood a fundamental, ugly flaw in human psychology. Human beings do not value what is abundant. They only value what is scarce. Consider the nature of reality. Air is the absolute most essential thing for your survival, but you never think about it because it is everywhere. Gold is practically useless, but men will kill for it simply because it is rare. When you are always available, when your time has no boundaries and your presence is absolutely guaranteed, you become air. People begin to take you completely for granted. They stop asking for your time and they start demanding it. It becomes an expectation, a baseline of entitlement. Your sacrifices are no longer seen as gifts. They are seen as obligations. Your words lose their weight because you are always speaking. Your opinions are ignored because they are offered too freely. You become predictable, and predictability is the death of respect. Manipulators and narcissists understand this dynamic instinctively. They scan the environment for people who operate from a place of over-availability. They know that your constant presence is driven by a hidden anxiety, a fear of abandonment, a desperate need to prove your worth through utility. They will drain your energy. They will test your response times, pushing you to react faster, to give more, to sacrifice deeper. And once they have established that your supply of attention is infinite, they will begin to devalue you. To reclaim your power, you must master the art of the vacuum. You must weaponize your absence. This does not mean throwing childish tantrums or giving people the silent treatment out of petty spite. The silent treatment is an emotional reaction. It is a desperate plea for attention dressed up in silence. Weaponized absence is different. It is the cold, calculated withdrawal of your energy. It is the intellectual decision to no longer participate in your own devaluation. It is the deliberate construction of boundaries around the fortress of your mind. Stop answering every message within seconds. Let the notifications sit. Let the urgency of others fade against the stone wall of your indifference. Stop staying at the gathering until the very end. The magic of any interaction dissipates the longer it drags on. Leave the room while they still want more of you. Do not wait for the conversation to run dry. Do not wait for the energy to flatline. Force them to notice the massive void you leave behind. When you step back into the shadows, a powerful psychological shift happens. The human mind abhors a vacuum. When you remove your predictable presence, you create a space of uncertainty. They start wondering what you are doing. They start projecting their own thoughts into your silence. They will try to fill the void with their own insecurities and assumptions. They will realize that you are an autonomous entity, not an extension of their demands. Suddenly, your time becomes a premium currency again. Your absence recalibrates the power dynamic. It forces them to invest energy into acquiring your attention. When you finally do speak, they will listen, because your voice is no longer background noise. This strategy is not about malice. It is about self-preservation. It is about protecting your psychological resources from a world teeming with energy vampires and emotional parasites. You must train yourself to find comfort in not being needed. You must break the addiction to external validation. The intelligent mind operates from a place of scarcity. It understands that access must be earned, not given by default. Let the fools exhaust themselves in the chaotic scramble for visibility. Let them burn out in their desperate attempts to be everywhere at once. You will remain in the shadows, preserving your energy, observing the board, and moving only when the calculation favors you. We must also consider the mechanics of intermittent reinforcement. Manipulators use your predictability as a baseline. When you break that pattern, you disrupt their control matrix. They expect you to be the constant stabilizing force in their chaotic existence. By withdrawing, you force them to face their own internal chaos. You are not a repository for their unresolved trauma. You are not an emotional dumping ground for those who refuse to manage their own psychology. Remember that silence is often the most devastating argument. It provides no surface for a manipulator to grip. It offers no fuel for their endless dramas. When you learn to walk away without explanation, you strip them of their primary weapon, your reaction. They cannot weaponize your words if you choose not to speak them. The dark reality of human interaction is that it is often a silent negotiation of value. Every time you overextend yourself, you are subtly communicating that your time has a low market value. You are telling the world that you are easily acquired, and the world, in its infinite pragmatism, will treat you accordingly. To reverse this, you must construct an aura of untouchability. You must become a vault, secure, imposing, and rarely opened. When you do choose to open the doors, it must be on your own terms. It must be a deliberate act of will, not a reflexive response to external pressure. This level of control requires discipline. It requires the courage to sit with the discomfort of letting others down. But the temporary discomfort of disappointing a fool is vastly superior to the permanent misery of losing yourself. The fools will complain. They will accuse you of changing. Let them. Their complaints are merely the dying echoes of a parasitic dynamic that you have successfully severed. The truly intelligent observer will notice the shift and adjust their behavior out of respect. They will recognize the boundaries you have erected and understand that the price of admission has increased. Consider the architectural design of modern power. It is characterized by distance, by physical and psychological barriers. The higher you ascend in any hierarchy, the less accessible you become. Accessibility is the hallmark of the subordinate. Inaccessibility is the privilege of the sovereign. You must begin to view your attention as your most critical asset. It is the raw material from which your reality is constructed. Every hour you grant to a toxic interaction is an hour stolen from your own intellectual fortification. You are bleeding resources to heat a room you do not even inhabit. Scarcity creates value. If you want to be treated like a king, stop acting like a commoner who has nowhere else to be. Cultivate your inner fortress. Master the art of the vacuum. And watch how quickly the world changes its tune when you simply decide to step away. If you are ready to master the dark psychology of power and value, subscribe to the Psyche Vault. Stop giving them all of your light. Let them feel the dark.